Your legs are sending you urgent messages right now about how long you have left to live, and most people completely miss these warnings until it's too late. The strength, appearance, and function of your lower body serve as one of the most accurate crystal balls we have for predicting lifespan, yet barely anyone pays attention until something goes seriously wrong. What I'm about to share isn't just about getting stronger legs for vanity or athletics. This is about recognizing the early alarm bells your body rings through your lower extremities, warnings that could give you years of advance notice about life-threatening conditions developing inside you. Think about it this way. Your legs are the furthest point from your heart, which means they're the first place to show signs when something breaks down in your circulation, metabolism, or overall health. If you're over 50, what I'm covering today could literally add decades to your life. If you're younger, understanding these signals now means you can prevent disaster before it ever starts knocking on your door. Let's get straight into the 7 critical warning signs hiding in your legs, and more importantly, what you can do about each one before it's too late. The first major warning sign shows up as strange sensations in your feet, numbness, tingling, burning, or shooting pains that seem to come out of nowhere. This condition signals that elevated blood sugar levels are systematically destroying your vascular and nervous systems from the inside out. Here's what most people don't realize. Sugar in high concentrations acts as a corrosive poison to your body's delicate infrastructure. Your body desperately tries to maintain just 1 teaspoon of sugar in your entire bloodstream at any given moment. When you factor in all the hidden starches that convert to sugar, you could have 50 to 100 teaspoons worth of sugar flooding through your system after a typical meal. Your feet develop these symptoms first because they contain the longest nerves in your body, and those nerves furthest from your heart receive the least oxygen and nutrients. When damage starts happening, these distant outposts feel it first. This isn't a minor inconvenience. It's your body's red alert system telling you that your blood sugar regulation has failed and you're potentially dealing with pre-diabetes or full diabetes. The gap between normal blood sugar and diabetic blood sugar is shockingly small, just 1 additional teaspoon, yet that small difference wreaks absolute havoc on your arteries and nerves throughout your entire body. The second warning appears as swelling around your ankles and feet, a condition that far too many people dismiss as normal aging or just standing too long. When you press your thumb into swollen ankle tissue and it leaves a deep dent that stays there, you're looking at something called pitting edema, and it represents a serious breakdown in your circulatory system. This isn't cosmetic, it's a flashing warning light that your heart, kidneys, or liver are struggling to perform their basic functions. Picture your circulatory system as a complete loop. Your heart pumps oxygen-rich blood through your arteries down to your fingers and toes, where it passes through tiny capillaries and then transitions into your venous system for the return journey back to your heart and lungs. When fluid pools at the bottom of this loop instead of making the return trip, your heart has to work exponentially harder to push against that backed-up pressure. Every minute your heart struggles against this resistance, you're aging faster and increasing your risk of cardiac failure. The fact that blood and fluid are pooling in your lower legs means the entire system is compromised and the clock is ticking on getting this fixed. The third sign manifests as an irresistible urge to move your legs, especially at night when you're trying to sleep. Your legs feel like they're filled with electricity, crawling sensations, or an overwhelming need to move them constantly just to get relief. This condition destroys your sleep quality, and here's where it gets dangerous. Chronic sleep deprivation dramatically shortens your lifespan by increasing your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and diabetes. The root cause traces back to excessive consumption of refined carbohydrates and sugars, which depletes critical nutrients from your system while simultaneously causing a buildup of lactic acid in your muscles. This creates a perfect storm of cramping sensations and poor circulation that makes restful sleep impossible. When you can't sleep properly, your stress hormone cortisol skyrockets, which further destabilizes your blood sugar and creates a vicious cycle. Your body is literally being robbed of the deep recovery time it needs to repair cellular damage and maintain healthy function. The fourth warning involves blood clots forming in the deep veins of your legs, a genuinely life-threatening condition because these clots can break free and travel to your lungs with fatal consequences. Here's a sobering statistic. Over 90% of all heart attacks and strokes result from blood clots rather than the plaque buildup most people worry about. certain factors dramatically increase your clotting risk, with chronic stress and high carbohydrate diets sitting at the top of the list. This is why this warning deserves your immediate attention. The danger can be invisible until it suddenly becomes catastrophic. The fifth indicator shows up as reduced blood flow through the arteries in your legs, a condition that signals atherosclerosis isn't just affecting your heart, but spreading throughout your entire vascular system. Inside each artery, you have a delicate single layer of cells lining the vessel wall, and keeping this endothelial layer healthy determines whether you develop rigid, constricted arteries or maintain flexible, wide-open blood vessels. When this inner lining gets damaged, your body responds with inflammation and attempts to patch the damage with plaque formation. While plaque poses risks, the bigger danger remains clot formation on these damaged, inflamed surfaces. These clots can break off and travel to your brain, causing strokes that can end your life in minutes. The sixth sign reveals itself through discoloration, hair loss, and thinning skin on your lower legs and ankles. You might notice brownish spots or patches developing, along with visible changes in skin texture and quality. This happens because blood is pooling in your veins rather than efficiently returning to your heart for reoxygenation. The venous system relies heavily on muscular movement to push blood upward against gravity, which means sedentary lifestyles create stagnant blood flow that puts enormous extra pressure on your heart. As oxygen delivery to your lower legs decreases, the tissue slowly starves and degrades. This chronic oxygen deprivation steadily chips away at your lifespan while simultaneously making your heart work far harder than it should. The seventh and perhaps most predictive warning sign is progressive muscle loss in your legs as you age. This age-related muscle wasting serves as one of the most powerful predictors of mortality in older adults because your muscles function as crucial metabolic organs packed with mitochondria, the energy factories that burn fuel and keep you alive. When you lose leg muscle, you lose a critical buffer that helps regulate your blood sugar and maintain metabolic health. The combination of aging, poor nutrition, lack of essential nutrients like magnesium, vitamin D, and zinc, plus increasingly sedentary behavior creates a perfect storm for accelerated muscle loss. The solution requires consistent resistance exercise paired with adequate animal protein intake to maintain and even build muscle as you age. Now, let's talk about what you can actually do to reverse these warning signs and add healthy years to your life. If you're dealing with the numbness and tingling of nerve damage from blood sugar problems, you need to understand that conventional medicine will try to manage your symptoms with medications while completely ignoring the root cause. The real solution requires dramatically reducing your carbohydrate intake and implementing intermittent fasting, eating just 2 meals per day or even 1 meal daily. Research demonstrates that you can completely reverse type 2 diabetes within 10 weeks using a low-carbohydrate approach. This same dietary shift simultaneously improves fatty liver, repairs your arterial system, enhances circulation to your legs, and heals that nerve damage. For faster nerve repair, 2 supplements work remarkably well: benfotiamine, a highly absorbable form of vitamin B1 taken as 4 pills spread throughout the day, and alpha-lipoic acid. Both of these compounds have shown powerful effects in regenerating damaged nerves. For fluid retention and swelling, you need to understand how your lymphatic system and veins work together. Most sedentary people develop fluid pooling because the heart doesn't directly pump venous blood. That requires movement and muscle contraction. There's a specific muscle in your calf called the soleus that acts like a secondary heart, and you can activate it even while sitting at your desk. The soleus possesses unique properties. It never gets tired, has incredible endurance, and efficiently pumps blood back up towards your heart when you perform what's called a soleus push-up. The movement is simple. While sitting, keep your heel on the ground and repeatedly raise the ball of your foot by straightening your ankle joint. Do this in a smooth, fluid motion without pressing too hard, keeping your thigh muscles completely relaxed. This simple movement can dramatically improve your blood sugar and circulation while taking significant stress off your heart. In addition to movement, you need to dramatically increase your potassium intake. Potassium acts as a natural diuretic that counteracts sodium and pushes fluid out of your tissues. You need about 4,700 milligrams of potassium daily, and almost nobody gets anywhere close to that amount. Contrary to popular myth, potassium doesn't damage healthy kidneys. Only people with advanced kidney disease need to monitor potassium intake carefully. For everyone else, increasing potassium through food or electrolyte supplements can rapidly reduce fluid retention. When you combine adequate potassium with a low-carbohydrate diet, many people drop 7 to 11 pounds of water weight within just 2 days. Your leg muscles, even at rest, only consume about 15% of your body's energy, while your brain uses 20%. This means if you're sedentary and eating substantial calories, your resting muscles barely tap into that energy. This is precisely why consistent exercise becomes non-negotiable for longevity. If you struggle with time or motivation, focus on micro-exercises, very short bursts of movement throughout the day, even just 1 to 2 minutes at a time. These brief sessions accumulate and can equal the benefits of longer workout periods. Take stairs instead of elevators and actually run up those stairs. If you work at a computer, set a timer for regular breaks to do quick exercises. Every bit of movement counts and adds up. To protect and strengthen the inner lining of your arteries, you need to boost your body's production of nitric oxide, a compound that helps arteries relax and dilate. Exercise increases nitric oxide, as does sun exposure, including both infrared and ultraviolet light. Breathing